Another good Friday coming up. I know you're still kind of sad the Dodgers won last night, so.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about high school football, what's really important in life.
That's the most important thing, baby, especially on Fridays, right?
All right, we are live. It must be Sunday at the Masters. We both got our red shirts on. That's Zack Poff.
We didn't plan it out, I swear.
I am Steve Montoya, and we are talking some of the big games around the country. I got my iPad right here. We want to hear from you out there. Let us know about your games. We know. How about this, Zach? In Alaska, they're already week 2 of the playoffs.
Already?
So we already know playoffs are here. We know your teams are fighting.
I tell you
to try
what,
to get
high school football season it goes by way too fast.
Way too fast. So we want to hear about your big games around the country. Just leave a comment below. Give a shout out to your team. We'll give you some love right here on the air. All right, let's dive in before we get to some comments a little bit about some of the big games in the country. And let's first start with one that already happened.
Yeah, IMG Academy, the number 2 team in the country. They played last night against Oxbridge Academy, a team that was 6-0 going into that game. IMG had no problem. You see Emmanuel Green right there. He's a big-time guy, UCF commit. Dylan Moses here making plays, number 2 overall recruit. They had no problem. 38-0 win, second consecutive shutout win for the Ascenders. 6-0 this year. Kellen Mond's been big time, the 2017 Texas A&M commit. Now, Steve, since they won that one game by 1 point against Corona Centennial. They've won their last 4 by combined 139 points. They're firing all cylinders right now, and them and Gorman, I want them to play because I believe those 2 teams are in their own class right now.
All right, let's get to some comments. Malachi says he thinks Mountain Point is going to win the championship.
Woo! Hey, listen, I would maybe agree with you, but they've had some tough injuries on offense. They've already lost their quarterback and their starting running back. But the Polamalu brothers on defense, one of the best 1-2 tandems in the country.
All right. Hopefully I get this right, Michael. Stella Coombe is going to beat Tumwater. If I didn't get that right, leave a comment. Tell me
Tumwater's good, man.
I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, Brian says Rockland and Del Oro, a big Sierra Foothill League matchup. Both teams lost last week, so they need to win in order to stay in the hunt.
Check out the Sac Joaquin, the Sacramento podcast.
That's right. That's right. Hit up the MaxPreps podcast. That's only for Sacramento-based teams. There you go.
I'm guessing you guys talked about that game, right?
We may have. All right, Greg says he can't view any team videos. Greg, we're going to hit you up on that and see what's going on for sure. Eric says Cameron Yeoman against Rockdale. Battle of the Bell, and that's when high school football is at its
I'm taking
best.
Rockdale.
When you got 2 rivals going at it, a battle for the bell. Love that right there for sure. All right, St. Joe's Prep in Philly, going to be a 3-time state champ. They won it all this year.
I totally agree with that. DeAndre Swift, man, he's a Georgia commit, one of the best all-around players on offense, and they got one of the best offensive lines in the country, also led by Carter Lynch.
All right, Larry says West Northeast at 6 p.m. All right. Cole says Bishop Gorman and IMG should play in December. Make it happen. Zach, make it happen.
I agree, Cole. I'm going to do what I can. Hey, I got to hit Linden up or something.
All right. Got Brian giving some love to the Penn Kingsmen, 8-0, playing their rivals who are 7-1. That's going to be a good game there in Indiana. All right, let's dive into a big game on your list. We'll get back to the comments. Keep them coming. We're going to talk about a game out there in the Maryland, D.C. area.
Yeah, the DMV area, man. They produce talent. We got a huge game in the WCAC. Number 5 DeMatha hits the road to D.C. to take on a very good Gonzaga team, a squad that's won 5 in a row, only 1 loss on the season. Now you're getting a look at 5-star defensive end Chase Young, a 2017 Ohio State commit. He's helped lead one of the best defenses in the country. They've held their opponents to 13 points or less in 5 of 7 games so far this year. And hey, they've won, I believe, 12 games in a row. The last loss was to, if you had to guess, Steve, who would you say?
I'm guessing the team they're going to be playing.
That's right, baby, Gonzaga. Now, on offense for DeMatha, too, still not an answer on who will be quarterback tonight. Even if it's not Bo English, the 2017 Air Force commit, they're going to roll with Tyler Leinhardt, a guy that, had a big game last week in a 49-12 win against Bishop McNamara. He proved he can get the job done for the Stags, and I believe he's going to end up being a nice recruit as he gets more playing time, a 2018 guy. Now, looking at Gonzaga, if they want to win this game, they're going to need their guy, Tyree Randolph, to have a monster game. He's been a monster in 2016, nearly 1,000 yards and 17 touchdowns on the ground this year. And as I mentioned before, they've won 5 games in a row. They got a little momentum. And Steve, you're going to like the crowd shot right here.
I love that.
DeMatha's going to have to deal with these crazy fans.
Oh, that's high school football at its best right there. Awesome to see.
They're going to have to deal with those guys and the crowd on Saturday. This is going to be a fun game, man.
All right, we're going to get back to the comments. And the thing with the comments here is I know a lot of you guys are going out to these games to watch. Sign up to play-by-play and score these games because we have fans all over wanting to know score updates. All it is, pretty simple. All you're doing is you can just give score updates or you can even give more than that. It's all up to you, though. I know we follow along when, especially some of these big games.
Hey, if I can do it, you guys can do it. I did the IMG game last night, and, it's not that hard.
No, it's not. So just go to the team page on MaxPreps. You'll see sign up, play-by-play, provide live scores. It helps everybody out. Fans serving fans. All right, let's get back to the fans right here.
Who we got?
Eric says Ohio got Franklin Wildcats on fire. Good luck to the Wildcats the rest of the way.
Stonebreaker, big time, huh?
Yeah. Stonebreaker says big time. El Segundo, the Eagles in California. Go number 2, the QB there. Shout out to him. Corona Centennial.
Yeah.
LaRue says they should have beat IMG.
They didn't, though.
50-49, though, shows how good Corona Centennial is.
Oh, they're loaded with talent, man. And, Tanner McKee, a junior quarterback, been super impressed with him this year. He's been a monster. And Miles Reed, that dude is a bruiser. Big-time running back. Big time.
All right, DeSoto U in the house from Texas, getting some love.
Number 3 team in the country.
All right, RHS going to take down Wise tonight. Good luck to both teams. How about the Forks? We've seen them before. 3 state champions in a row. Their mascot's the Forks. That's unbelievable. I love that.
No wonder they've won a few in a row.
Israel says, can I get a shout out? Shout out to you right here.
Baby?
All right, let's get back to some games real quick. We'll get back to your comments. Keep them coming, but we're going to talk about a game. We don't see many out-of-state games anymore because of how far we are in the season, but we're going to see one this weekend.
Yeah, we got an Indy Power, Warren Central, the number 22 team in the country, hitting the road to Cincinnati to take on St. X. Now, I believe this will be the biggest game going on tonight, and, Warren Central, the number 22 team in the country, they've been one of the most explosive offenses in the biz, and it all starts with their 4-star wide receiver, David Bell. The sophomore wideout checks in as the number 1 recruit in all of Indiana in the 2019 class. He's also a top 10 receiver, nearly 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns so far this year. And Steve, he's balled 5 consecutive 100-yard plus games for Mr. Bell. Warriors are 7-1. Going into this one, the one loss came to another Cincinnati team, though, number 13 Coleraine back in August. Now, looking at St. X, they do have 3 losses this year. But don't let that fool you. Those 3 losses came against 2 top 25 teams, St. John Bosco and Coleraine. And the other loss was against a very good LaSalle squad. Now, on offense, a guy to pay attention to was, someone manning our Snapchat there a week or 2 ago. 4-star quarterback Sean Clifford, a 2017 Penn State commit. This boy can sling the rock. This is going to be a good game. I think Warren Central is going to find a way to pull it out. But I think it's going to be a single-digit game for sure.
All right, good battle there between 2 close out-of-state opponents. All right, let's get back to some comments, talk some high school football overall. October's here, Zach. Second Friday in October. I know it's raining here locally. It's starting to feel like playoffs in the air.
Football weather.
Yeah, football weather. I know in other states around the country, some states are already in playoffs, so this may be the last week where we know you're all fighting to get in, and we wish you the best of luck. Leave the comments coming. We'll give some shout-outs. We got one here. Cisco Lobos taking on Coleman tonight. Good luck to both those teams. Muskegon, the Big Reds. And how about Anthony saying Massillon, Washington, the Tigers have 24 overall state champions.
24?
Championships. Not bad.
Wow, that's pretty good.
All right, and then Penn is on a crash course with Warren Central for a state title this year. One of the teams you just mentioned right there. And then Kendall says, what do you guys think about Folsom High School?
I'll let you answer that, man.
Listen to the SAC podcast and you'll know for sure. But
how
about Folsom? One of their former quarterbacks is having a pretty good year at
Jake Browning
at the college level. Heisman candidate.
Right now, he's either 1 or 2 in Heisman talks right now. He just had 8 touchdowns last week. Now, Steve, I don't know if you caught this. They're doing a little interview after the game, and they're like, "Hey, Jake, tell me how's it feel to have an 8-touchdown game? You've done this before?" He had 10 touchdowns in his first start ever as a sophomore.
Yeah, and we know Jake Browning from covering him in high school. Very humble kid. He'll never brag. He'll say it's all his teammates.
91 touchdowns his last year of high school football.
That's not bad at all. And Folsom beat up Delaware pretty good. So this team this year is good as well. The Joe Curry, their quarterback, excellent as well.
Folsom's
that's quarterback you over there.
Points.
All right, Israel, good luck in your city championship as well. And then Kofa High School against Cibola High School. That's the one we're talking about. Good luck to you there. Let's get back into a game. Texas football, king maybe of high school football. We'll see.
I think it is.
Yeah, some good games out there in Texas. This is one of them.
This is a big one, man. You got Allen, the number 10 team in the country. They're taking on Denton Geyer, who comes in 5-1. And Geyer's only loss came to number 3 DeSoto. Now, Allen, man, been super impressed with them under their new head coach, Terry Gamble. A guy that's familiar with Allen, was defensive coordinator back in the day. They're 6-0 this year with him. And Steve, they've won every game by at least 18 points. And digging even further back, the Eagles have won 63 of their last 64 games.
That's pretty good.
That's not bad. They did have my guy Kyler Murray back then, but they're still winning games without Murray. And there's going to be a good chance they head into the playoffs undefeated. And another nugget, they haven't lost a district game since 2010. Now, Geyer, on the other hand, they got some ballers too. One guy I got circled though. If they want to pull off the upset win, is 4-star sophomore running back Noah Kane. He checks in as the number 1 back in the 2019 class. He's rushed for nearly 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns so far here in 2016. Denton Geyer comes in only 1 loss, but their other game against a top 10 team was DeSoto. It didn't go well for them. I hate to say this about Geyer, but I got Allen big tonight.
All right, let's get back to a few more comments here. How about Brian? Brian, shout out to you. Says, you fellas do good work. Nothing beats high school football.
True that. You the man, baby.
True story right there.
Big time, Brian.
Kendall says, have you seen Caden Bennett at Folsom yet at QB? I have not. I know their quarterback right now, Curry, is playing really well. So
they always got a handful of quarterbacks, don't they?
They do. So maybe Bennett's the next quarterback there in Folsom, California. And Jake Browning, like we said before.
Mr. Graves was good too.
Yeah, Graves, excellent quarterback. And then Brandon says, great win for Kennedy last night, La Palma out in California. So congratulations to them. So somebody mentioned Mountain Point in our comments earlier in the show, and we actually have something on them right now.
We do. Mountain Point, the number 9 team in the country. I was talking about the Polomau brothers. You got the older one right here, Isaiah Polomau. He's the number 2 recruit overall in the state of Arizona. And he's not committed anywhere, but Crystal Ball's saying he's going to UW. And this is his younger big bro, Matthew Polomau, number 2 defensive tackle among all sophomores. He's just a force on the defensive line. Now, Steve, I was talking about the injuries on offense. They lost their starting quarterback, Noah Grover, last week with a broken leg. Wow. Gary Bragg, the starting running back, tore his ACL a couple weeks before that. But, they kind of got that Bill Belichick factor where it's next guy up, and guys have been stepping up for Mountain Point. But, they got their hands full tonight. Desert Ridge is a big-time team. They're 6-1. I believe this is Mountain Point's last test if they want to finish the regular season and, conference games undefeated and head into the postseason with a 0 on that side of the record. But those Polomau brothers, man.
They look good in that film right there.
Their uncle was pretty good, too. And CB the other day on our podcast said a former Steeler great, but he's a former USC great, Troy Polamalu.
Yeah, he was pretty good overall as well. All right, we're going to wrap up the show right now. Leave your comments coming. We'll get to those if we haven't got to them on the air. If you're going out to a game tonight, please sign up to score those games.
Just do it.
You help other fans out, and then hopefully there's other fans around your local games that you want scores from that
Everybody's
you can find.
Helping everybody.
That's right. And we're going to keep an eye on all of them as well. Zack Poff, Steve Montoya, thanks for joining us here. This is MaxPreps on Facebook.